Hey Dario, my audio is off. Um, because I'm just doing this casually. I'm gonna just doing a project that I feel like doing for a bit. I'm not doing anything with this particularly. I'm just gonna let it stream, let it save itself on Twitch. I'm not gonna let it save on. Well, I think I'm gonna let it save on the track channel. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm just doing this casually. Um, but yeah, it's kind of if anybody dropped by, then hey, if they had a question, I'd answered it, but I'm not really putting this out anywhere or trying to do anything with it. But yeah, um, yeah, that's about it. This is just me casually sitting for a few hours doing my own work. Hoping to have this track done today, and then in the next day or two, I'm gonna start sculpting. This is a shot I've had shot a long time ago. Just kind of was looking for something to do and remembered I had this. Never touched it. Were you the one viewer who's been here nearly the whole time? Nice. How's your weekend going? What are you doing with your weekend? Once I'm done tracking this, I will be shopping, cooking, and then gaming. Hmm. Oh no. That's not good to hear. Hopefully, busy has been keeping your mind at ease. Six square. Man, odd time that's got to be done over Zoom. Family's doing all right? Yeah. Hey, Akam. How's it going? Just kind of doing, just kind of casually working on my own project here. Gonna do a head solve and a solve in the chest, and gonna do a. I should have sound. My sound's on right now. Shows that my sound is reading. Let me watch my own Twitch to double check. Because it tells me that there is audio running through this. Let me watch my own Twitch and double check. There is sound. I've had the sound off intentionally, like for the whole duration of the stream until my friend started messaging. Because yeah, this is just I'm watching videos on the side while I do this. I'm just casually letting this project of mine stream just for fun. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a I don't know if you play games, but there's a game called The Last of Us, and there's some creatures in it called clickers, which are infected humans by a fungal virus or whatever. And I want to do that for the shot. I want to turn her into a clicker. This is a shot that I've filmed probably back in like 2014, 2013 or 14, and never touched. I just forgot about it. It's just been sitting on a hard drive. No, I'm not playing a game. No, I'm not playing game. Oh, you don't play games? Anyway, there's a game called Last of Us. Fantastic game, and there's creatures in it that I want to sculpt and work on for the next couple of days. Because my other shot, I don't think I want to sculpt a big creature for that city shot. Yeah, the background is tracked separately. I didn't really need to for this. There are people who would argue that, but because my shot, it's such a overcast. The camera is tracked because of lighting primarily. But because the shot doesn't rotate or do any Z rolls, the light is always going to point down no matter how this is moving. So the camera is tracked just to keep my head and chest in a nice world space rather than moving up as if it's the camera. So yeah. Camera tracked separately and head and chest will all be done. Oh, these shoulders are not acting very nicely. Now at track object. Yeah, now the head and the chest are separate objects. And then, kind of like something I did on a previous stream where I did it on myself, I will be doing a kind of a basic rig. But this one's going to be a little bit more proper than the one that I did last time. Oh, if you have a shot where you have a camera, an object, and whatever amount of objects, usually it's a safer bet to start from the camera first and then move on to your next most important object and just kind of treat it in order of importance. Typically, that's the camera right off the bat. The camera's most important. For this shot, her head is the most important part. That's the actual main bulk of the CG. Then the second part, the shoulders. The shoulders, I am going to have some of the CG extend down on her skin, on her chest. But, you know, it's not as important as the head itself. Typically, though, yeah, just track your camera first. Wonder if I can force one of these points to last longer to force my solve. Give me something. Absolute garbage. Trash salt. Actually, maybe I'll change my starting frames over here. Turn off the hint. No. Didn't work. I'll just have to keep adding some points. I was really trying to keep this as minimal as possible. But nah. Man, using RTX voice on my mic is so awesome. I swap back to my mechanical keyboard right now and I don't think it could be heard, at least when I'm typing. You don't see the levels jump around. This is great. Don't have to use my cheap wireless keyboard that keeps breaking. I can't remember what part of the checker this tracker belongs to. No, I'm on it. Cool. All right, point. Give me something. Oh, wow, I made the points almost pretty symmetrical. Almost. Didn't even intend for that. Love the sound. Bottles opening. So satisfying. More garbage. I could force my focal length away from 1,000. I can't remember what this lens was when I shot this, It was a stock lens that came with a Canon 7D that I shot on. I think it maxed at 200, but I'm so certain I didn't shoot this at 200. I thought this was a 50 mil, but it does not want to solve as a 50 mil. Let's cheat and make this. No, don't copy. Let's make this 200. I think that was the max that the lens I had went to. 200. That doesn't sound right. Oh, it's solved. And it's solved rather nicely. Wow. Okay. Cool. Let me see if the head solved okay because it did not before. Dude, this looks awesome. Oh man, what a relief. This might work. This is really cool. Okay, I'm sick of watching this playback the whole time. I'll drag this little ticky thing. Okay. Man, this might be good. You solved so far apart. Okay, well, let me just stabilize, observe, make sure that this is as good as okay as it seems for what I'm doing. Oh, this is great. That's perfect, except for this little pop here. To which I will add a point. I need a minimum 4 points for this to solve through that little blank bit of space. I could hand animate it in Maya, but I don't want to. Oh, I don't like that fold. I'm gonna let this tracker slide to the right just to somewhat counter it in a very cheap fashion. Oh, that was disgusting. Cool, so that's 3 points. Wow, I only had 2 points there that was going. That's awful. Oh man, this point here can go. Right there. Okay, does that save me through the gap? No, it does not. So I will fake it off screen as best as I can. Nice. It's actually working well. And disable it at that point. All right. Gap. Solve. Looking okay. But how okay? Grab the front and back point. Shift 5. Do a little stabilize. That doesn't look too bad. This looks pretty good. Save the video on YouTube. You'll download them. uh, this will save on YouTube. Did you find this on YouTube or Twitch? How'd you find this one, Come? Yeah, this some of the past ones I removed some of the weird schedule things because Restream is kind of weird to me, and I keep creating these accidental streams that I have to keep clearing, and then a couple of them just have a few errors or something that I don't want to put it out there. I'd rather redo it. See, I'm not too yeah. I don't want to remove all of these, but I also want to make it easy for people who go to the YouTube channel and want to scroll through and see the tutorials. I gotta organize it all. But yeah, the this one at the rate that it's going, I'll probably just leave it on YouTube because it's going at a pretty good pace. Last night I spent a long time just tracking points. And for some reason I felt that I shouldn't have had that up. I should have just kept that one up. But it's just tracking points. That was, yeah, kind of useless. But yeah, this video, I'll leave it up. It's going well. I think I'm at the point where I'm gonna make these objects actually solve because I need the shoulders over by the head. I might be at a point where I can finish this up. I don't need this perfect because I'll be roughly deforming the mesh. Because like her skin here, if I lock into this point on her skin, clearly her skin is not sliding the same as it does in her shirt. Her shirt is separate, and I've solved mostly the shirt. So the skin, I gotta manually deform once I have a rig going and a mesh. I gotta deform the skin to match her real skin more in Maya. Did you track objects separately too? Yeah. All these objects are, you could see they're separated out. I went up to shot, add moving object, and then I started tracking within that. So you can see the head is solving independently of the shoulders, and everything's all independent. The camera's by itself. I hope that answered it clearly. Track objects separately. There are some people who track everything, like everything all the way through, like track the camera, then the shoulder, then the head, all under the camera. And then once they're ready to solve, I've seen people go to start adding their objects and then organizing their points where they need to go. But that's, I don't know, that's strange. I haven't seen a lot of people do that. I've just seen people do that. And I've done it too. Nice. Got it. Okay. I think I want one more point as low as I can get it on the back of the neck. So I'm going to put one here. I'm not going to waste time tracking this one. I don't even trust this part of the head because it's too close to the part of her neck that's deforming. So I don't want to have a point influence the solve. So I just place the tracker for 2 frames, hitting W on my keyboard or zero weight here. Now I'll lock that. So I have a 3D point that isn't influencing the solve, but now I have a point lower down on the neck. Lower down on the neck that will help me out. Okay. Let's see if I can do this now. So I'm going to select all my shoulder points. Actually, let's do a rough scale of these, get everything together. So the head, I should bring in a rough head model first for scale. Okay, I'm going to bring in a rough head model. Assets, head geo. And the head is now absolutely enormous. So I'll start picking away some points. That's a very dim head. Okay, so place one around there. Oh, I should have points on her ears and stuff. I don't know. I could put this one kind of in the area. This is just to snap the head roughly in place. Oh no, I can't even see where her ear is here. I don't know, somewhere between her ear and her eye. Could something be added at the back? Let's try one of these. Okay, and now the head should roughly solve in a position. That's awful. Also, that is very hard to see. Let's make it green. Brighter green. Huh. The object flipped itself. Okay. So I'm going to go to my solve. With long focal lengths, there's an illusion. There's a pretty famous illusion where there's this spinning woman. It's a wireframe. This woman spins around, but it tricks your eye, and you can't, and your brain can't really process if she's turning clockwise or counterclockwise. And and to do that, they also have that woman is rendered with an orthographic camera, so it's extremely flat. So there's no sense of depth. Like when someone spins, their hand gets smaller as it comes away, and gets bigger when it's closer to you, and that gives you depth, and you can tell which way something's rotating. But the longer a focal length is, like mine is like 200 mil, this head is kind of flattened out, and there's not the head doesn't take up that much of the frame, so it's hard for synthesize to figure out a depth. So this head, it's kind of weird to say, but the solve is inverted in perspective. Right now, these points on the front of the head, I'm gonna guess yes. See, this point that you would expect to be closest to the camera is now at the opposite side of the head. So I got this really trippy looking head track. To fix that, I'm gonna go to the head, go automatic, go back to the normal solve mode, and I'm just gonna pick a frame I like maybe like this, where she's facing head on. I'm gonna make my first frame 1348. Make my second starting frame. I'm just gonna go somewhere close. So now between these two frames, it's like the camera's moving to the right, which I'm already on right. That's good. So I'm gonna hit go. Hopefully, yeah. Nice. The head looks so massive on her. Okay, can I get this to fit any better? Whoops. Select the head, F3, Control F. There we go. I'm just going to rotate this head manually. So I could move it around and rotate it, but the controller, the manipulator, is not to the axis of the head, so, not to the object space. So I'm going to right click, go to View, Local Coordinate Handles. There we go. That's easier to work with. So now through the camera view, expand up my worlds. Whoa. Oh, is the head just massive? Oh, I see what's happening. The shoulders are solving much closer to the camera now, causing some weird trippy stuff. So I'm going to go Object 2, whole scale, drag it up. I was going to drag it past the head for now. Don't feel like looking at it. Great, I can see things. Also, I'm going to turn off. I can't see the back of the head, the contours, because by default, lit wireframes is on. There we go, now I see it normally. Okay. So I think I'm gonna move it. Oh, select the head. Pull off. Select the head. Gonna bring it over. Now holding control on these handles lets me rotate them. Normally I do not condone moving the object like this. But yeah, sometimes it's how it be. Nice. Okay, quick watch. Oh, this is looking cool. Okay, so I want to keep these points in relation to the object at the exact spot that it is in, and I'm going to need to use constrain later. But these points, I kind of randomly BS'd onto the mesh without having an accurate head model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all the constraints. Now I'm going to go plus, minus. They all have position data now. So I'm going to select them all again and turn on lock. Now they are locked in this position within this object. And now the mesh and the points, they'll all stay together happily, and it's a good time. So now that I have that, I'm going to refine this head and make it sit in a proper. Actually, can I crank? No, I don't want to crank this up. I'm going to try and make this frame like a mid-range and try to keep the head within this area. So I got to manually tune up this path. So I'm going to go to camera objects, object 1. I should name this stuff. Object 1 is head. Object 2, shoulders. Head and shoulders. Okay, so the head, gonna go to solve path, turn on just the translations, and right now the head is moving back and forth mainly on the z-axis, so the z line here is the actual depth of the object. Okay. I wonder if I can make this as simple as just spamming the absolute hell out of distance. Uh, the distance isn't going to smooth all the paths the same way. It's going to smooth the object's distance from its position to the camera. It so happens that it's mainly on the Z line, so we're only going to see the Z line really change. So I'm going to turn the strength. No, let's turn the frequency down to like 1. I don't know. Can strength go higher than? Nah. Okay, frequency's down. So the lower the frequency, the more smooth everything's going to go. Oh, I don't know if I want it like that. I don't know. Let's see. Let's watch what it does. She's mostly standing still here. You know, I'm going to undo a lot of that, and I'm going to do some manual work on her position. So I'm going to take this. So this is going to be, I'm going to call this just the mid where she's standing. And to remember this, I'm going to make an earthling just because I want a body here to kind of reference. I'm going to use this body to reference how far she should be leaning whenever she makes a turn. Whoops. Wow. 180, 180, 180. Oh, I should move the whole scene up. Also, I made this person inside of the object, inside of the head object, so if I scrubbed, now the body moves. Not good. So I'm going to take that, go window, loading hierarchy view, just going to collapse the trackers. I'm going to drag this guy 1 under camera 1. Actually, sorry, not under camera 1 because now it's parented to the camera. So I'm going to drag it out just into this empty world space here. There we go. And now I'm going to go to camera 1, whole move, drag this all up, and this girl is short. So I'm going to... I don't need to worry about that actually. Just kind of crouch down a little bit. I'm going to bring it down. All right. Now I can start in the graph editor. I'm going to turn off the colors. That's rather irritating at the moment. Also, I don't need to look at X or Z. Okay. So now between frame 1344 turn whole off. I'm gonna bring this ahead. $15.44. Gonna delete this spiky nonsense. Kind of like some of the lean that she's got here. Here, between this frame and this frame, she should probably only be leaning something like this. Now I'm going to get rid of that spike there, so we rounded it out. She kind of keeps a lot of this distance here. Stands up straight here, and her head should be somewhere level where she's standing straight. Let's now clear this up. And I'm going to somewhat keep her at this distance. Whoops. Has a little backwards lean. Let's bring her back. She might have hobbled back a little bit here. Clear out this garbage. I'm gonna add a keyframe around here where her head is down. And now here I'm going to get rid of some of these keys because her head's coming up, her head's gradually moving back. No way her head is moving back there. Also, I'm going to keep her at this depth now for the rest of it, because she's just going to stand there and stand there and be sad. Okay, so just giving this a quick watch, seeing what she does in depth. Oh, she's looking reasonable-ish, excepting for the popping, of course, because the popping is just my weird manual moves. But we needed the depth to be somewhat clean. So now, filtering control, distance on. I'm gonna hit it with a smooth. That's kind of an intense. That's kind of an intense smooth I just did. I'm gonna turn that frequency back up to. Oops. Turn the frequency back up to like 5, so that these curves aren't completely eroded. Okay, hopefully this is something usable. And now I can switch the head to refine. We're going to go to axes lock, turn on distance, turn the weighting up to 90, turning it up higher so that it sticks to my smooth distance that I'm going to get loaded in here. So there we go. There's the distance per frame from the object to the camera. And I should be able to solve and get something cool. So it's going to move the head left and right, up and down to snap it back into... Oh. Why? Hmm? Oh, I'm under camera. Oh, wait, what? Find tripod. Huh? Refine. Okay. Distance. All right. Guess I should take the tripod, disable it because it's fine. Make objects normal. No. Lenses set to known, 200. Cool. No distortions calculating. Head. Oh, I didn't have constraint on. That's one. So hit go. And the depth, yeah, the depth or the distance did not change. So we look at the head, and now, even though we have a long focal length, we'll have a pretty nice, reasonable space for the head. Oh, that looks bad. I was kind of worried something like that was going to happen. I should have flattened out this focal length more just to BS it more. I didn't like that her head had the freedom to go so far back into space like it did. It's kind of telling me that the lens actually is probably wider. Let's try it out. I'm going to kill all the work that I just did. Refine tripod. Gonna switch from known to, let's try 100. Shoulders is solving. Cool. I'm just gonna switch shoulders to refine as well so that they're fast. And I think I gotta go to my head object. Axis lock, yeah, and I gotta turn off distance. And constrain, I'm gonna turn that off too. Okay, so we're kind of back where we started, and does the head just look better like this? Oh, it looks way better by default. I mean, I don't even think I have to do all the manual stuff that I just did. That was a big waste of time. Okay, so I am gonna just get rid of the giant spike at the beginning here. Starting at frame 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Clear out all the Z. I'm just gonna hit this with a smooth distance, so distance on, and we're gonna see mainly the Z line get affected. All right. Head object distance on, get all that stuff loaded in, and the camera we're gonna disable. Make no, don't make the trackers normal. Okay, give me good things. Solve. Looks like the solve did something. Nothing is going crazy. That is great to see. And does it go off screen? Okay, there's a little thing there. Why? Why is it that bad? F7. I didn't even solve this correctly. I got to turn constraint on. Why does it look that awful? Oh, to start, I didn't really track enough points over here to begin with. Completely forgot about that. There's only 3 points here, which is like when you have controlled path, the minimum that you can have for having rotations work. But then it drops to 2, and the head is rotating around the axis of these 2 points. So let's add a tracker. A couple trackers. Okay, 1, 2. So just a test to make sure that it will continue with these. Hey, it does. Oh. Huh? I'm real tempted just to fix this in Maya. I'm not enjoying doing it here. Why does it rotate like that? Or why does it want to do that? Maybe it would want another point. Let's see. Weird. I guess I should just turn back to automatic, solve, and it looks better there now. So now I'll do that again. Hit it a couple times. Switch back to refine. Axis lock, and I'm going to get that path loaded in again. Shift G, solve. Okay. Okay, and that part I'm just going to do in Maya. So that is fine. Ooh. Not that though. I'm going to not hit it twice then. I'm going to go back to automatic, constraint on, distance off. Okay, and just to make sure that it solves well without any of that crap. Oh, no, it doesn't. Interesting. Oh, interesting. It's solving pretty bad now. Trying so hard to avoid doing stuff I don't want to do. Okay, so I solved that without the constraints, let it do something raw. It probably didn't like the position data from before. Yeah, that was it. That was it. So I'm going to select all these trackers, turn off unconstrained, plus, minus. They should all have new position data. Turn them all back to lock. Now I'm going to come to filtering, distance. I'm going to smooth it. I'm going to try smooth it twice again. Now that they all have new data. And, oh, I don't like how these points all look like they have an offset. I hope that's from my distance smooth. Okay, so the head, I'm going to switch back to refine, turn on constrain. Axis lock, distance 90, get. Please, give me good things. Okay, just work. Just work. Just work. No! Why? We doing the one smooth again. Just one smooth. Why does it look this bad though? Oh, my distance is animated. That's unusual. So I'm going to control right click, get rid of all the keys. That could have been a problem. We'll see. Because I didn't use distance on the first frame. Okay, so now we're back at a solve that works, right? No, we're not. Because constraint is on. So now we're back at this. I'm going to try something else as well just to be safe. Oh, weird. I'm missing something. Oh, invert perspective. Invert perspective. Now they're locked. Okay. Now that I've done that, switch to automatic. Constrain on. First frame, distance, 90. Get. And there's no keying of this. Good. I'm frustrated. This was supposed to be a fast, simple project. Switch to refine as well. The camera disabled? Yes, it is. Okay, work this time, please. Give me something. That doesn't look like it did anything. Well, it's solving though. Hey. Hey. And does it actually look smooth? No, it doesn't. So it didn't obey that? I'm gonna try smooth it once. Get this loaded. Solve. Now what does it do? Man, I wish Synthesize would stop changing the view. I hate it when it changes the view every time. Okay, so this changed. Cool. I want Synthesize, when I look at a frame like this, I want to hit solve and watch the difference in the mesh, but no, it's gotta pop everything away and now you can't tell. Ah, annoying. Okay, so that one actually smooth distanced. And it looks like it's working. Okay, that's fine for the head. That's all we need. Let's finish the shoulders because I'm sick of this. Pull, scale it back, way back. I'm gonna get rid of my boy here. And I'm gonna color points on her back. Something recognizable so I can see it here. So her back will be magenta. And also I'm gonna get this center line closest to her neck. I should get one up higher, but whatever. Gonna make this point yellow. Easy to spot. I should get the pivot for her neck. I'm gonna take this whole, I'm gonna take the object for her head and place that roughly around where her spine is. That looks like it's kind of doing what I want it to do. I needed the object's diamond at that depth because now its path curves are going to be usable. Oh, I gotta move it up higher. Hey, that's better. And let's get it nice and it's somewhat symmetrical with the head. Cool. And now for the shoulders. The shoulders. I'm gonna take this. Skip. Whoa. No. Hole for the shoulders. I'm gonna bring this back until the yellow dot. Actually, let's open up quad in perspective. So I'm kind of hoping that her back will kind of curve up and line up with the neck. Actually, it doesn't look too terrible. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I do this one. So to lock these two, I'm going to. This is a nice thing in Synthesize that people don't really do, as far as I can tell. But you can view multiple graph lines at the same time. And so I'm gonna. So I have head opened up, and I'm just gonna let the Z be visible. And under shoulders, opening it up, you can see Z is also, they open up. They're all kind of linked. So here, these two paths, this is the difference between the head's depth and the shoulder's depth. And you can see on this frame that I scaled and put them together, the Z line is really close. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to collapse head for now. And I'm going to actually get rid of all the keys for the shoulders. Missed one. Also, I'm going to double click the hand here to scale it up because I couldn't see that point. Now, if I go to open up the head, and I'll scale this again. Now we have our line from the shoulders that is blank and our curve from the head. So what I can do now is I can start to click, add in keys, and block in the shoulders path so that it's going to match up with the head's depth. Stop. This kind of looks tedious, but honestly, in my mind, it's kind of satisfying. Oh, don't drag that top one. That's another annoying thing, is that I can't stand that Synthesize will allow you to select multiple points at a time. I don't know why it does that. I haven't found the purpose for it yet. But there's a lot of weird things about Synthesize that I didn't think had a purpose, and then suddenly it did. Oh, we close though. Real close. Okay, so that's probably close enough. So now I'm just gonna, under the shoulder, go to solver, filtering, distance. Just give that distance a smooth so that path that we did isn't as blocky as it is. Reset. And now, also the head doesn't need to solve anymore. I'm just gonna go to solver and the head, disable it, come to shoulders, and refine is on. We're gonna go to first frame, distance, weighting up to 90 and get that distance loaded in that we did. Also, these points need to be locked into their position under their object. So I am going to select them all, and I'm going to do my little trick, my plus, minus. Now they have position data. Turn locked on. And the constraints on, distance locks on, all the stuff is hopefully good. So solve. Please, please look good. Oh, this is the one we want to see. Please look awesome. Wait, is that solving with the right rotation? Yes! Oh my god. Oh no! It's doing stupid crap. Ugh. Okay, so what caused that? Is it really that bad of a fit before? Turn that constraint off. Let's solve this again. Turn off distance. Go. I don't have to reanimate that whole path thing because the distance data is always loaded into here now. So let's see why that messed up. Hmm. Distance on. So it doesn't like the scale. How did it even wind up that not working? Oh, crap. Oh, I know what I did. I think I know what I did. Okay. Oh, I gotta fix that now. Can't stand that I gotta fix that now. Okay. That is frustrating. Uh, okay. Um, what I did wrong was I did all that distance stuff, lined it all up, and then I think I was on a frame I shouldn't have, and I made the locks on these points at a scale they shouldn't have been at. Okay, let's see if we can fix that garbage. So these shoulders, I'm going to go to the start where her head is somewhat upright. And now I'm going to scale it back in depth. Hold control to go slow. Try to line up the depth of the two diamonds. Now that the two diamonds are aligned, now I'm gonna go F7. Look at the difference of the two curves, and I was hoping I wasn't gonna have to do this again, but I'm gonna. So I'm gonna collapse head for now, shoulders. Going to clear all of it. Except for the frame that we are on. And this is also where I'm going to force my points to have new position data. So I just inverted perspective a couple times, and hopefully these now have a new position, and I'm going to turn back to automatic mode. Actually, I'll need refine soon, so I'll switch to refine. Now, F7. Okay, back to the annoying part. So now that I have these two paths, the Z from the head, the depth of the head that I want to match the shoulders with, so that the shoulders actually follow the head movement. Ugh. Give me that. Probably gonna do this a little bit more crude than I did before because I'm grumpy. Grumpy that it didn't work the first time because of dumb reasons. Okay, there's that. And I'll double click the hand, focus this area. How are two people even watching this? This is boring. I'm bored. There's got to be an easier way to do this. Not that bad, huh? So close. Done. Okay. I should put one more here. This one kind of bugged me before. There we go. Okay. Now, filtering control. Give that a hit. I don't care that they have this much offset because they wouldn't match perfectly anyway. I kind of hope that the shoulders aren't moving as much in depth as the head is, so I'm okay that the shoulders have a little bit of a drag. Okay, so I hope these points now have the locks on the correct world scale. That's my guess as to what happened. Now watch this not work, and then I'm going to be puzzled on what to do. I might have to do this manually in Maya, or the fixes manually in Maya, which won't be a big problem. I just don't want to do it. Solver, refine is on. And just to double check, the other stuff is disabled. Goody. And focal length, no distortion. And axis lock, distance is locked on the whole way. Gonna hit get again just to be sure. Okay, give me something, please. Just give me something a little bit better. Doesn't need to be perfect. Oh my god, please. Please. It has a little pop there, but this is better. This is workable. This is workable. It's not perfect. Considering I don't remember the focal length, this is okay. Hugo's desk always has to be perfect. I know it always has to be perfect. This is a lot of arguments that I have with people at work and some clients that we talk to at Track VFX, is that there are certain things we can get away with, but obviously 1,000 things we cannot get away with. But being on my own project, I'm trying to escape with the bare minimum that I absolutely can. Oh yeah, plus this is more of a just casual project for myself. It's not like a serious not like a serious stream. I actually do a little bit of streams for the company I work with because since the pandemic struck, we kind of wanted to get some match move knowledge out there because there is not a lot out there. There's nothing on deforming. There's nothing using proper full rigs and stuff. So I want to share some of this stuff, see how it goes. That's impressive that you're here. How'd you even... Is it actually you, Hugo? Or is it somebody who... Somebody... An imposter? Okay, so... I could fix this in Maya, which I'm probably going to do because that is actually what I would do. Synthize does not handle stuff like this too well if you do not have the correct focal length. Yes, it is. Do you know me? Yes, I do know you. And I'm not going to lie, it is actually extremely exciting that you are here. I've started following your streams a few weeks ago, since I started getting into Twitch myself, and I started to realize there's actually a community here. And you got me into, I've been watching Ludo. So I've been bugging him on his stream last night, or at 4 in the morning my time. I was extremely tired. But yeah, no, it's awesome being able to see so many people trying to make something of this. So yeah, I'm probably going to be hand animating this in Maya, which is fine. The chest is deforming. I wasn't expecting to have a static object out of this. And I was going to be warping the skin under her clothing, which is fine. You've been streaming for a year and a half. Yes, been streaming for a year and a half now. A year and a half? Kind of figured you would have been doing it longer. That's yeah. I just kind of all the people. I was shocked to see that Ludo has only been streaming for a couple of months, and I think I heard that from you. And it's terrible to hear that you didn't make Twitch partner. Yeah, I heard you've been streaming for about a year. Ludo, I think a couple months now, and I can't remember. Andrew Hodgson, I think his name was pronounced. Um, been watching a lot of his stream as well. Awesome stream. I think he's been doing it for a lot longer. 5 years old. I've been delving into your channel heavily within the past few months. Can't remember when I actually found it, but 5 years old. I've got to go and take a stroll through your channel now. Let's see. I've seen a lot of your newer stuff. So what is this? Is this a personal project? This project? Um, I'm a tracking lead, but for the past few years I've always been doing personal projects on the side, but I don't really carry a lot of them through. So this one I'm going to be doing a clicker from the game The Last of Us. So once I've got this done, over the next few days I'm probably going to start sculpting in ZBrush. And then I'm going to set up a rig in Maya, and then hopefully get this Compton nuke. But yeah, just a personal project, just something I wanted to do for a while. I've had this shot since 2014, and I've never touched it since. But yeah, I love doing everything, just not great at everything, and this is my excuse to learn. And also, oh, I'm so excited for part 2. It's a shame it was leaked and so many people were trashing the script, trashing the story to a game that they're supposed to play. Like, you've ditched half the experience. You've ignored half the experience. But I'm so excited for it. Naughty Dog does such an incredible job with everything they do. Incredibly excited I'm excited for the story, obviously, but just that world that they've created. I'm so excited just to spend hours walking around in each little environment and just observe. Cannot get past the level of detail and the animation with those games. I think wasn't it Uncharted 1 that kind of started to pioneer the motion capture in video games? I think. Where do I work? Here I am at the studio. This is a new studio called Track VFX. We've been running for about a year now. We used to work at a studio called Hydraulics, but Hydraulics went out of business. And now my boss and I have started, and a friend of his, they wanted to start up their own company for a while now. So we primarily do MatchMove, but in the future we may be branching out into other stuff. But yeah, we're new. We're trying to bring some work back locally to Vancouver. A lot of people have been hearing about us pretty quickly, which is awesome. And yeah, so I'm currently the lead here. I've been matchmoving for about I think 5, 6, or 7 years or something. And primarily, I'm not using scripts or anything when I do it, so everything is just kind of stuff that I figured out along the way, stuff that I plan to be streaming heavily in the future, because we're trying to build up a YouTube channel, and because there's just a lot of stuff that we don't want to be barred behind paywalls like a lot of stuff is, and there's nothing out there for match movers. Whenever we're interviewing new people, a lot of people are kind of left in the dark. Hugo, I would love to track for you, and if I do, I will not be putting in half-assed work like I'm doing for my own shot because I'm trying to do it as fast as possible with minimal stress. Outsource all my tracking in Roto. Outsource your tracking to Roto? Yeah, if you were to contact Track VFX, we could probably we're pretty cheap. we uh we believe that like we wanted to also outsourcing to like India or any other startup companies somewhere anywhere around the world. They're so expensive, and the quality of work that comes out isn't typically the greatest. There are some incredible artists within those studios, and we work a lot with them as outsource artists or as our outsource artists, and they're amazing. And we've held on to them whenever we've had a bit of a overflow of work. But yeah, we're trying to keep it cheap. We're trying to keep it local in Vancouver, and of course, it doesn't matter. It's not just Vancouver. But yeah, there's a lot of bad quality work going out, and a lot of people in production don't understand what goes into tracking. So we're trying to keep things. We're trying to create these personal relationships with people as well, so that it's not just oh, my camera died. So it's not just a oh, here's what we want. Okay, here's an absurd amount of money we want in return for this work that you don't even that we don't want to take advantage of people. For years, I've been outsourcing to Trace VFX in India ever since my time as head of comp at the mill. I gotta put a battery in my camera once. Uh, I think we've worked a lot with Trace as well. I think we're primarily working with I can't remember who off the top of my head. Okay, camera fixed, and also I should get back to match moving shot. Trace VFX though, I can't. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember how much we've worked with them. We've worked with a number of people. Yannick's. Oh, what was the other one? Bigger name, but I can't remember. All right, camera back. There we go. Okay. Let's see. So for the shot, I'm just going to quickly evaluate the error in the trackers. If there isn't any significant popping, which there is unfortunately, I could do this as a GOH. GOH is essentially rigging in SynthEyes. So you can do some very basic motion capture stuff, which I will be doing for the shot. Unfortunately, she does not have any expression on her face with the mask. So I'll probably be filming myself in the future, kind of acting out the growls and stuff and little face twitches and whatever, and I'm going to be including that within the rig. And whether or not that's going to be blend shapes or just clusters, we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing something like that. For this, I might change it to GOH, and then I could incorporate that maybe a little bit easier into a rig, because then the head and the shoulders have a better relation to each other, leaving less to deform in between. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be matching her neck directly, because this will be a full CG subject covering up our actress here. Hugo, if you're still listening, if you're that one viewer, how is Trace for outsource? How has your experience been? Mostly positive? Let's see. Nice, that's great to hear. And is Trace primarily Trace, I'm assuming, isn't primarily match move, or are they? It's been a long time since I've needed to worry about any of this. They are not, nope, including rotoscoping, roto tracking match move. Cleanup in 3D, oh nice. Rotoscope and cleanup are definitely going to be the runner-ups for whether or not we start to branch out from match move. The other thing is with track VFX is that we wanted to avoid the downsides that come with a number of other studios in terms of bidding and whatever, and the studios going under, going bankrupt. So we're trying to have a studio that has a very solid foundation in match move before we start to dip our toes into anything else. Whoops. Main is Roto. Can I ask how you found me as well? Because I don't really push this. It's just kind of I'm doing it for fun. Okay, let's run this through a smooth to see if it is recoverable in Maya. Otherwise, I'm going to have to resolve and figure out what the exact focal length of the shot is, which is not going to be super possible due to the parallax and rolling shutter. A calm to, oh yeah, a calm. That's right. Because I was talking to him over stream about because your course. I want I wanted so badly to enroll into your course, but due to the whole pandemic hit, whatever. Uh, Money is something I'm a little iffy about tossing around. But your course looks incredible. Is that the kind of thing that I'll? Uh, it's not open at the moment. I didn't know exactly how that worked. Kickstarter, people had to enroll at a certain time, and they are currently going through this course. I wasn't sure if it was just a series of videos that were sent out to people like with their name encoded into it or something, so you can't just dish it across the internet or something. I don't know. Week 6, and if I remember correctly, you said that you were going to be doing this again sometime within the year, restarting the course over. I would love to jump in. Uh, I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to pay for it in full. I don't want to undercut you. So if this thing were to roll back around and seeing that things are now getting better within the film industry, I think in Vancouver here, productions are going to be picking back up here in the next couple weeks or something. Thankfully, we've been coasting on a lot of the productions that have already shot, but we might hit a dry spell here. Oh, I would love to enroll in that. Yeah, come August, I will probably be jumping in. Nuke is something I've been trying. I wanted to be mostly a comp artist when I came out of school, but I didn't have enough time to dedicate it. And the first job that I got was as a tracking match move artist at a studio called Zoic. So all my focus was put into match move, and over the past couple of years, I've just kind of kept everything fresh in my mind, and I'm now trying to piece it all back together. Ooh, there was also a translation spike. So I'm going to smooth the translation, rotation. Thankfully, this is clothing. Something I was going to be doing was I was going to be match moving the that pinning her skin in Maya by hand so that it doesn't slide fixed to her shirt, because that would be unnatural. So I'm going to leave the shoulders as they are. And then I'm going to manually do some pinning in Maya. Just got to make sure that that depth is all right. And the depth is looking fantastic. That is the sole most important piece of this entire match move. Anyway, see you later, bedtime. I'm hosting, so maybe more people will join, but it is pretty late for my I was actually hosting. That's incredible. I really appreciate it. I was impressed that there was 60 people watching your streams, editing your short film. I'm excited to watch you edit your short film. I used DaVinci Resolve, and it was cool to see you using Resolve a bit. But yeah, have a good night, and excited to watch more of your work. Thank you so much. So, so the depth of this is good. I'm going to do a little bit of a triangulation on the shoulders because I would like a rough, choppy little mesh just so I can see it in my perspective view a little bit easier. So I'm going to Control A, select all my points, right click, and come out to Mesh Operations, convert to mesh. Now these points have converted themselves to a mesh, but you don't see a mesh. Currently, there are little vertices scattered around, but with no connecting polygons, no connecting faces. So I'm going to right click, go to Mesh Operations again, and triangulate. Now we are left with this, and yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's fine for me if since I'm just looking at it here. Dario. Yeah, that was awesome. So, now that this looks pretty decent, this looks workable, except for the frames around here. And that is definitely a portion that I can correct in Maya because I'm not going to be able to tell the depth very easily in Synthesize, and I can move this around manually here, but each time that I try to force this object with all this deforming shirt and shoulders, this is not a static object, it's all deforming and stupid. So, because of that, I'm probably not going to get a reasonable solve out of this with a forced distance in relation to the head. Okay, so I'm going to toss this into Maya and see what can be done with it. So I'm going to go Maya ASCII scene. Actually, let's see. Maybe I want to take this in with the mesh stuff just so I have this as easy reference. And I did move the pivot around for the object, which is of course a big no-no. So I'm going to go File. I'm going to export this scene as a FBX, which unfortunately FBX is not in my recent exports. So I'm going to go Export here, Filmbox FBX, and on my other window I have an export window. And let's see. Education, clicker, exports in here. So now when you have this window, if you're exporting an FBX out of Synthesize, you're going to want to take note that there are only a couple options that you have to set here. So I hit defaults. Here, we're only going to change marker type from chisel, which will give you cones. I'm going to change it to null, which will give you locators. And I'm also going to come down to start at frame. you have to change your started frame. So I'm going to go 1001 and export. So now that I've gotten that, oh, my slug's still here. Cool. So the slug was kind of cool. So I don't need the slug. I'm going to go new and save my slug. And now in Maya, I'm going to go File, Open. And nice part about File, Open is that, not about File, Open. Nice part about Synthesize is when you export anything out of Synthesize, it's going to drop it into your clipboard. So in the Open window, I'm just going to go Control V, paste my FBX, hit Open, don't save. And now let's go and split the view, come to Panels, Perspective, Camera, and I'm going to scrub ahead so I'm at the actual part of the shot I need to see. So this plane here, you might think that this plane is where you want to attach your image plane, but don't do that. Just you're going to eventually get rid of it and then apply a proper image plane in Maya. But we are going to use this plane for a second. So if I look into the outliner here, also I'm going to move my little camera down here. So camera 1. So there's a problem with this camera coming out of Synthesize as an FBX. And what is that? If I go into the transforms of the camera, you can see that there's a rotation axis of 90. This will cause a problem. If you try to drop this camera into programs, I believe Nuke will not like this camera. It'll flip the camera on its axis, like 90 degrees on the y-axis. It will be facing in the wrong direction, and I believe there are a number of other programs that will be screwed over by this as well. So we got to clear this rotation axis, but if I clear it now, the camera has now turned. So how do we do this? We're going to do a little cheat that my boss came up with. So the camera screen, I'm going to bake it out as an object. Actually, sorry, I used a script that I have that people won't normally have. So I'm going to do this manually. I need this image plane out with the animation. So I'm going to duplicate it, unparent it, and now I'm going to constrain it to that other plane with parent. So now this plane is now following. So this plane, I'm going to go up to Edit Keys, Bake Simulation. And now we are left with the animation on this. So I'm going to delete the old plane. So we have the camera animating and the plane as two separate objects. So the camera here, I'm just going to duplicate it out, delete the old one, and this camera now doesn't have animation. So I'm going to parent it under the original screen. And now we have the exact same camera move with an image plane as we had before, but this time the camera has no animation, so we can go to the transforms. And now you can see rotate has 90 on Y and negative 90 on the rotation axis Y. So I'm going to zero both of these out, and you can see our camera is oriented correctly. So I'm going to take camera 2, bake it out, delete that, and here is our camera, and I believe it's locked. Also, I did use a bake button, but nah, I gotta remember, let's not use those scripts. I'm gonna put it back under. Okay, so baking out the camera. I'm gonna duplicate it out, Shift P, parent it. I'm gonna go recent command, parent constrain, edit keys, bake simulation. Good times. And now I'm gonna delete the constraint, get rid of this old stuff, and middle mouse it onto this view, and now we are left with our camera again. So let's import the image plane. And I have it over in my other window. I'm just going to navigate for it. Homework. Homework. Hey, Akam. Yeah, I saw that. I was not expecting to see Hugo pop into the stream, and he was, as you can see, he's been talking a little bit. Oh, that got me nervous. Loved your channel, and he gonna raid your channel. That's horrifying. Oh man. No, I really appreciate that, Akam. That's awesome. And share Discord. Oh, now, oh man, so much writing on it now. Okay, let's get this finished real quick. Um, but yeah, no, seriously, seriously, Akam, that's awesome. That's awesome that you did that. Wasn't trying to make like a super serious thing out of the stream, but hey, if more people end up liking it, like match move and stuff, and I don't know, just whatever general things, because I'm gonna try and carry out shots from start to finish for generalist kind of content. And if people enjoy and maybe learn along with me, because I will be certainly trying to learn a lot of the things that I do, that'd be awesome. Then I don't know, maybe I'll see if I do this a little bit more seriously. So let me load in my plate real quick. Homework. No, wrong folder. Education. Oh, I shouldn't load in an EXR sequence. Okay, let me just see if this works real quick. Introduce me to other peoples. That'd be awesome, man. You're way too helpful. That's a good thing, though. Not a bad thing. Okay, let's see. Look through camera, use image sequence, and I'm going to turn the cache up to what? 500, even though I'm not going to view that much. And also we're going to push this back a little bit in depth. Cool, select this and that. We're going to apply use. A lot of people here would use just wireframe. Like if I hit 4, then yeah, I have this. Looks pretty bad. And now immediately, there's probably some people thinking, oh, but you can apply backface culling. Backface culling is cool and all, but you could see that the back ear that has front-facing faces. Oh my god, gross. All the faces on her ear in the background there that are all facing the camera are still visible with wireframe. So what we can do is I'm going to select my geo, and we're going to go right-click, assign favorite material, use background. And now it is really reprojecting the background on all your footage, in a sense. Oh. Also, let's trim this range. I can't be caching this much of an EXR shot. And also, we're going to turn on wireframe on shaded, and now we are left with this magic. I'm going to select my meshes here, create a new layer, and let's give it a nice display layer. All right, so this is looking cool. Also, my EXR sequence, the color space is silly. What would be the best one? I don't remember. Oh, do we even have a good color space here? How many color? sRGB. This should be sRGB, but it looks... Actually, no, it shouldn't. We're going to leave this at raw. I'll export a proper plate later. So now, what is the next order of business? The next order of business is to really start my model and start doing a sculpt. I am going to line up this head a little bit better. And by better, I mean I'm really just going to push it back. Give it a little bit of tilt. This part's pretty disgusting. But this is a part where I'm just going to be manually moving the rigged head a little bit because again, this rig, I'm not looking for a perfect track on this one. I'm just looking for the head to cover enough of her head and like her own physical head. Ooh, I placed a key by accident with Y. Don't want that. I might end up fixing these shoulders. Because, like, the shot is a little. I could work with this easily. I can get the shoulders in the correct place. Um, I can warp everything in the correct position and have it look pretty good. And because the rotation and the depth of this object is looking nice, the render would come out looking fine. There shouldn't be any weird kinking in the rig, which is awesome. But I could avoid some manual work. I'm going to take this face right here. I'm going to right click and go flip spin. There we go. That looks nicer. I think I'll finish this. I'll finish this match move. I'm probably going to redo the shoulders on a separate day. But I think right now I'm going to set this up for sculpting. So I'm going to try and get this. Let's see. I'm going to go duplicate the head. I'm going to zero out the rotation. So hopefully... Oh, I got to Shift P, unparent it from wherever it is. Zero out the rotation. Now that I have that, I'm going to take this crude generalized shoulder, also get that out of there. And now hide everything. Head, shoulder. Oh, I gotta get rid of this shoulder. Nice. So head, shoulder. Going to group this and snap it to the center of the world. Also, I'm not liking my line thickness. I had that cranked up earlier for a wireframe. I'm going to go to setting, nope, display, line width 1. Save. Also, aliasing. Use aliasing. Always use aliasing if you're doing a match move. You don't want to look at popping little pixels that are making you think that your mesh is doing little pops all over the place. You want to see it as smooth and as clean and as close to what a rendered filtered pixel would look like. Okay, so this is my base mesh. I could salvage this head, actually. This is a head that I modeled a while ago just to use for deforming GOH and Synthesize. But I could make something of this and fix up its topology in some areas. I think I'm going to do that. How bad is this mesh? I'm going to go and select this ring and, oh, I should have selected vertices. I'm going to go 2 vertices. And now let's get a little average going. Scale it down just to clean it up just a bit so I can see what's going on in terms of topology. I'm not going to model this properly into the ear. I'm just going to make the geometry nice enough that it's sculptable. How many do I have here? If I do a really quick fill hole, is that going to cause me some problems? So I'm going to go multi-cut. This is so bad. That's so bad, I'm not going to do that. And I'd much rather just sculpt a new head from scratch and then worry about the topology on that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take these two. I'm going to go steal the shoulders off of a model. Assets, tools, and take a centimeter dude. There we go. There's our boy. Coming down. Oh, he was centered. Good. Convenient. Gonna bring him in. And let's... Ah, man. How I wish that I could just steal this mesh and use it. But I don't want to. I want to do this as much as I can for myself within reason. So I'm going to steal the shoulders. We're going to take off... Ooh. That is some weird topology on this mesh. Mesh gone. Just temporarily. I'm going to group this stuff and bring it up and kind of position it to her. Now I'm going to hide these bad shoulders. First, let's apply or use background. Now I'm going to go vertice, turn on soft select, and I'm going to hold tilde so I can just quickly block in some of this stuff. I don't need this stuff looking good. Nice. This just looks too good. Okay. This looks amazing. Let's see. Yeah, I'm totally gonna redo the shoulder solve later, and I'm gonna do it properly. What I should have done, because I didn't think I was gonna put this much effort into the shoulders. I was originally just gonna have the shoulders kind of drive a rotation from the head, but now it turns out I kind of really want the shoulders because I don't want to do much manual work in Maya now. I've changed my mind. So I think tomorrow, when I'm done work, I'm going to solve the shoulders, but I'm going to put priority on the shoulders for the depth. And then the head is going to be more or less locked to the shoulders. Yeah, that's going to be it. Let's give this a little downscale. And the head, maybe make an attempt at bringing it up. That doesn't seem quite right, but whatever. I could just do a little squash and stretch to the rig when I get around to it. Also, how does the back of the head fit within the solve? Because I might... Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, I'm going to pull the back out a bit. This is very concave. Wow. So bring that out a bit and expand that soft selection. Bring it out some more. Nice. Okay, I'm going to zero this out. So now that that's zeroed out, man, this looks so great. This looks like the Donkey Kong mode in GoldenEye or something. I don't like this weird offset. That is the sculpt that I did, but still don't like it. Holding tilde. That's probably fine. Okay, I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to duplicate them out, and shift, right click, combine, delete history, merged. Ah, this body is only gonna, this is just gonna serve as kind of a stencil or a template in ZBrush. I'm not actually gonna sculpt or retopologize this head. I'm gonna do a little remesh of this in Blender too, just to give me the base mesh, so I don't have to do any. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a quick remesh in Blender. So I'm gonna export. Rename it something stupid, and now let's go over to Blender. And Blender, you can see a the intro thing I did for the YouTube tutorial on the deforming slug. So I'm going to clear this, go General, and get rid of the default cube, step 1 of every Blender project. And now File, Import, OBJ. Jump onto my desktop temp. Oh, interesting. Did I export that wrong? I think I exported it as something else. FBX, OBJ. Okay, now refresh. Here we go. Nice. Now we have the head. And I'm going to go and grab a quick modifier, remesh. And let's go... Is it voxel? Yeah. Wireframe. Oh yeah, and we got all this weird... Actually, are these all quads? Oh wow, cool. I thought this remesher kind of threw in a bunch of tries and stuff, not like it matters for what I'm doing, but that's pretty cool. But honestly, this is all I need. I don't care about this model being very symmetrical. It's going to be a very deformed shape as well, all these weird pieces in and out. So just going to increase the resolution. Adaptivity. Oh, the resolution doesn't. Don't know why it loses itself here. What is this? Now we're going back to voxel. Actually, what's sharp? Oh, I prefer this. Backspace. Whoops. Make that 1. I prefer this. It gives me a little bit of geo sticking out from the ears. Like, it's not usable, but it's enough for me to get some Dynamesh, and I'll fix it myself. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. What material is on this by default? Does it even have one? Oh, the used background comes over the blender or shading group. That's kind of cool. What does it look like? Shading. Oh. Huh. Okay, that was a lot less cool than I thought it was going to be. Where's that light? Turns out 20,000. This thing just looks horrifying. Let's go and apply the mesh and just smooth for fun. Man, in a weird way, that looks cool. This kind of looks like the actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf head. This is great. Okay. Let's go File, Export, OBJ. Main, nope. Remesh. And let's open up ZBrush. Okay. Come over to this window. No, you're not going to full screen? Cool. Okay. Close Lightbox, document, new document. And let's go import. Find that thing I did. Remesh. Now that I got the remesh loaded, I'm going to click, drag, hold shift, snap. Edit mode. Come in, lock the Y, perspective. This looks so trashy. And now let's just come on over to Dynamesh. Let's see what happens just by default. That's cool. Like, it's something I can build the ears off of. It's too bad though. Oh. Oh no. Bee sting. Ooh, got some stuff there. At least now I have something that I should just... I will probably spend time doing retopology in Maya. for this. Before, I'm not sure if I want to model. I think with this rig, I'm going to leave it as, or I think with this, so I think I'm just going to do a basic shoulder head, and that's going to be the base for this clicker's actual head. And then the fungal plates that are growing out of its face are going to be separate elements, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this thing's nose. Kind of gotten rid of the mouth. Gonna bring that back. Got Voldemort. Oh, that really looks like Voldemort. That's pretty great. Looks a lot like Voldemort. Mm? Mm-mm. Brush. DS. There. Oh, I don't know. All right, so the nose I've eroded away, and I'm gonna erode away its eyes too. Clickers do not have eyes. And the forehead, I'm going to be losing a lot of the forehead, but I'm going to leave that to the sculpt later. Oh, I gotta switch over to a tablet. Doing this on another day. Oh man, this thing just looks so funny. Oh, okay. Now, bring those divisions back down. I really should be waiting until I have my tablet in for this. Just enough just enough definition so that I can kind of see where, just so I get the lips kind of started. Yeah, I'm gonna do something like this. I'm gonna bring its ear back a bit. Actually, let's do another Dynamesh. There, so I filled in that weird hole that was there. Also, let's increase the resolution a bit before I do that. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to go Z remesh, bring up the target count. I don't need this. I don't need Z remesh to work. I just kind of want something that isn't so blocky in the lips. Mm-mm. Let's go. Let's try half, see what it does. May have to toss in a couple Z guides. Z guides. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Gonna push the Stuff in the mouth back a bit. Okay, I'm not going to do much more in this mesh until I have a tablet. Because I got to sculpt in the ears a bit more. Also, I gotta I gotta try and sculpt this head as close as I can to my friend's face. Uh, so, so I think that's gonna be my project. I think I'm going to stop now. I think, so yeah, I think I'm going to take this. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow at, I don't know, 7 or 8, maybe 8 PDT time, 8 Pacific Daylight Time. And I'm going to resolve the head and shoulders. And then, once I've resolved those, I'm going to be working off my Wacom tablet and actually start to do some sculpting. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fix the solve tomorrow, and depending on how time goes on that, then I'm going to maybe do sculpt on the following day, on the Tuesday or something. All right, yeah, cool. I'm gonna leave this at this. Once again, if that one viewer that's there is you, Akam, thank you for doing what you did. That was awesome. And yeah, I'll continue this another time with ZBrush and Synthize.